Hello and welcome to Whether or Not. We have plenty of topics to talk about today between algae blooms and California wildfires. Later on, Brad Gay will join me in the studio to talk about what's in store for this weekend with your weekend forecast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Whether or Not starts right now. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in with us. I'm your host, Jillian Bohenek.
And I'm your forecaster, Brad Gay.
Well, Brad, I think we've had a pretty interesting week all across the nation, actually. We've had quite a few wildfires out in the Pacific Northwest, and then we've had a lot of rainfall here. We've had quite a few records being broken in our local area. So how is it looking for this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, it absolutely has been interesting, Jill. This weekend looks a little bit quieter than last, but it will still be a little bit unsettled. Looks like we'll have a pretty nice start through Friday and into Saturday. But then Sunday and even into early next week, it's looking like a little bit of a mixed bag, so I'll have to keep a close eye on that forecast over the next few days.
All right, well, we'll be looking to your forecast very shortly, but first we'll head on over to Nature in the News.
Well, after they were thought to have gone extinct several hundred years ago, beavers are back in Britain. Beavers have been absent from British wildlife for the past 500 years, but recently, retired environmental scientist Tom Buckley spotted a few tree stumps that had been gnawed away, ironically in Ottery, which is in St. Mary. After staking out the location overnight, he spotted 3 beavers. Since the first sighting of the beavers, Buckley has seen 3 baby beavers born, and some of the locals have started a petition in support of the beavers. Now, while beavers are native to Britain, there is still some trepidation surrounding their reappearance. Some locals want the beavers immediately removed so that they do not disrupt the fish species. The local government hopes to find a new home for the beavers in captivity.
A new weather bill has just been introduced to the United States House of Representatives. The Preparedness and Risk Management for Extreme Weather Patterns Assuring Resilience Act of 2014, or H.R. 5314, is a no-cost bipartisan effort to better prepare for extreme weather events. And that's according to United States Representative Matt Cartwright, who proposed the bill alongside Representative Tom Cole. Cartwright is the Democratic representative of my neck of the woods, Pennsylvania's 17th Congressional District. Cole is the Republican representative of Oklahoma's 4th Congressional District. Also known by its acronym name, the PREPARE Act, the bill would set up an interagency council made up of representatives from various organizations and agencies that are affected by extreme weather, with goals of formulating preparedness plans to establish nationwide resiliency. In the United States, there have been 151 weather-related disasters since 1980, and each one has cost the nation nearly $1 billion each, totaling well over $1 trillion over the past 34 years. The proposed bill will not only aid in the protection of the nation's people, Cartwright says it will also help the government save billions of dollars.
Well, if you've been outside at all recently, you've probably noticed the days have gotten a lot shorter. We've lost about an hour of daylight since the solstice. But those living in Alaska have noticed it even more. This past week on August 2nd, Barrow, Alaska saw its first sunset since May 9th. The sun finally set at 2:03 a.m. local time and rose again about an hour later. Barrow, Alaska, like other northern latitudes, sees continual daylight in the summertime due to the Earth's angle that has turned Barrow towards the sun. While facing the sun may sound warm, Barrow has seen a cooler summer than normal, with temperatures running about 2.4 degrees below average. Back here, closer to home, we haven't quite seen 24 hours of daylight on the longest day, but we did end up with 15 hours and 6 minutes of daylight on the solstice on June 21st.
Wildfires are continuing to scorch the Pacific Northwest. Yet another 2 fires have ignited in the state of California, pushing the total number of current blazes to 14. About 24 fires are burning from California to Washington state. The 2 fires erupted in Lassen National Forest just over 200 miles north of Sacramento. The 14 fires in California include those that started elsewhere in the region, like the Oregon Gulch Fire that began in Oregon last week and spread over the Oregon-California border. California Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency last Saturday because of the fire conditions being deemed particularly dangerous. The growing number of wildfires in California this year is due in major part to the severe drought that is still affecting the state. Brad Gay will be in next with your weekend forecast.
All right, well, thank you, Jill. We'll take a look now at your weekend forecast for what is actually one of the final weekends of summer for us Penn State students. Really only 3 weekends left, including this one before classes get back underway and we're back in the swing of things. But anyway, let's take a look at those maps. Your forecast for Friday has high pressure off to our north over the Great Lakes, and that's going to lead to some sunny and mild conditions across the region. So generally a pleasant day. Humidity not going to be too high, dew points in the mid-50s, so that is considered fairly comfortable, especially for the middle of summer, and it really hasn't been all that humid this summer. Really been a nice relief from some of the humidity of summers past. But notice off to our south and west, we do have the stationary front over the Mississippi Valley, and that's going to be a player in our weather over the next couple of days, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that as it makes its way towards the north and east over the next couple of days. Of course, we'll take a look at Saturday's forecast. High pressure shifts a little bit to the east, but we will still generally be in the nicer weather for Saturday. Humidity might be bumped up just a little bit, dew points approaching 60, so starting to feel a little bit stickier out there, but certainly nothing compared to what we have seen earlier this summer, so still going to be fairly comfortable. We will see clouds increasing a little bit in the afternoon on Saturday as we watch this front begin to slide its way a little bit farther east, some clouds ahead of that moving into our area and bringing a little bit more clouds to the sky, of course, for your Saturday forecast. Then by the time we get to Sunday, that's when it really becomes a toss-up. We'll have our high-pressure system shifting offshore, but then our low-pressure system moves closer to our region, so the state of Pennsylvania is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. We're going to see showers and clouds off to the south and west, but then off to the north and east, it looks like there will be a little bit more sunshine. So we're going to kind of be on the dividing line here in central Pennsylvania, and that really is going to be a challenging forecast because we could see the potential for some of those showers to begin to move into our area and perhaps turn your Sunday a little bit more soggy. But looking at the exact details of the weekend forecast, well, your Friday is going to be around 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies, a beautiful afternoon, and again, not too much humidity. Friday night, a fairly seasonable night, mainly clear skies, 59 degrees, which is just a touch below our average of 60 degrees. So we're going to see a fairly nice Friday night and then a decent start to Saturday as well. And it really won't be all that bad in the afternoon with the increasing clouds. Again, a little bit more humid, 80 degrees your high. Then Sunday brings us the chance for more rain after a little bit more humidity moves in Saturday night, 62 degrees, your forecast low. And then again, Sunday bringing in the chance for some more showers. Of course, has been a very rainy summer here in State College. Again, and we set that record rainfall back on last Sunday, of 2.5 inches. And July was actually our fourth wettest July on record. We saw 6.6 inches, which is well above our average. And August is on track to be above average based on that record rainfall that we had, already approaching our seasonal total, or our monthly average for the month of August. And Sunday could add a little bit more to that. Chance of showers, 78 degrees. Again, the better chance of those showers will be in the afternoon, and then things will be turning a little bit more unsettled next week. But of course, we'll talk about that in the extended forecast coming up in just a little bit. But for now, we'll return you to Nature in the News.
The mayor of Toledo, Ohio, has officially lifted the ban on water to city residents. The ban was placed last Saturday when algae toxin levels were higher than recommended for safe consumption. Residents of the city were urged not to drink or boil tap water until it was cleared. The algae bloom, made up of various species of phytoplankton, is a regular occurrence on Lake Erie during the summer season, but according to NOAA Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab, it wasn't the size or intensity of the bloom that caused problems. It was the location of it that had a more direct impact on humans. Winds from the north pushed the algae bloom near the city of Toledo's water intake system. This posed a problem for water quality. The water has been filtered by treatment facilities and has been declared safe.
Well, if you're a meteorologist, and even if you're not, you're probably familiar with the 1996 storm-chasing blockbuster Twister. But premiering this week, 18 years later, is a new tornado thriller, Into the Storm. Now that hits theaters this weekend, and it takes viewers to a town called Silverton, where a series of tornadoes ravages the city. The movie is told through the eyes of professional and amateur storm chasers, as well as the townspeople of Silverton, as they endure one day of Mother Nature's fury. Now, while Twister was a big hit at the box office, it's often mentioned in our community because of its false meteorology scattered throughout the movie. Now, we've yet to see how true to the science the new Into the Storm will be, but now Twister won't be the only movie for the weather crazed.
Sunday night marks the biggest and brightest full moon of the year. The perigee full moon, commonly called the supermoon, comes with a downside though. It will obscure the view of the Perseid meteor shower that will peak early next week. Many people look forward to seeing the fireballs streaking through the sky, but the bright full moon will make it more of a challenge to see them. For the best chances to see the meteor shower, look to the sky in the hours just before sunrise, after the moon has set.
All right, well, thank you, Jill. Let's take a look now at that extended forecast. We'll take you beyond the weekend and into early next week. Well, in terms of that weekend forecast, though, we are going to see a little bit of a mixed bag. Friday starting off pretty nice, mostly sunny, pleasant conditions, not too humid out there. But then by the time we get into Saturday, the humidity bumps up just a little bit, and we'll see clouds building in, especially by the afternoon. Temperatures just about the same, near our average of 81 for this time of year on both Friday and Saturday. But then Sunday, we'll see a system moving up from our south. So that's going to kind of place us in a battle zone between rain and sunshine, rain to our south and west, and a little bit more sun off to the north and east. So it remains to be seen if we will be in the clouds or in the sun on Sunday. Of course, keep an eye out for those rain showers, though. In terms of the extended forecast, well, the unsettled pattern continues. That system moving into our area on Sunday is going to kind of linger around through Monday and Tuesday, so showers and storms possible both of those days. Temperatures slightly below average, likely in the upper 70s, and it will be feeling a little bit humid and sticky with that system around. By the time we get into Wednesday, things should clear out a little bit, but then another system will likely be on our doorstep by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, bringing us yet another threat of showers and storms. Of course, this coming week is the American Meteorological Society Summer Community Meeting, which is happening right here in State College Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So it looks like we will see a little bit of unsettled weather for that, but certainly looking forward to having a lot of the meteorological community right here in town. Jill?
Well, thank you, Brad. And we'd like to head back to the Weather Whiz quiz before we wrap up. Earlier in the show, we asked you how many daily rainfall records have been set in State College since June 1st. Is it A, 3, B, 0, C, 1, or D, 7? And if you answered A, 3, you are correct.
Yeah, that's right, Jill. A total of 3 daily rainfall records have been set since June 1st, and those actually just came over the course of only 4 weeks.
That's right, and the most recent was just this past Sunday, August 3rd, where we had 2.5 inches of rainfall during those storms Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and those storms were certainly impressive. We saw a lot of road closures here in the State College area. Atherton Street, just outside of our building, Jill, was actually closed, as was the streets behind Alpha Fire Station, which were filled with a few feet of water.
I believe College Avenue was pretty bad as well, so we had a lot of flooding going on, even just in our local area.
Yeah, that's certainly something we don't see every day.
That's right. All right, well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm your host, Jillian Bohenek.
And I'm your forecaster, Brad Guay.
Have a great weekend.